Monsoon officially here, bringing hazardous weather like we saw yesterday in the valley. In the high country, it is causing concern for possible flooding in those wildfire burn scars.
A major concerns in two sites specifically up north of Sedona from the recent pocket fire, and also the north rim of the Grand Canyon, which was damaged by the massive wildfire last summer. Mason Carroll's live in Flagstaff tonight. Mason, you spoke with experts about the concerns along those wildfire burn scars.
Yeah, flash flooding is extremely dangerous, especially after a wildfire where burnt debris can also come down with the water. But Park Service employees tell me they have new technology to track the flooding in the canyon, and there's also ways hikers and campers can prepare to protect themselves. Wildfires can be extremely destructive, burning tens of thousands of acres, destroying homes, and sometimes taking lives. But when the rain comes to put them out, they can become another danger entirely, in the form of post-wildfire flooding.
And with that water runoff, we see rocks and ash and debris in them. And so that overland flow post-fire is the primary concern.
Andrew Sanchez-Meter is the executive director of the Ecological Restoration Institute at NAU. He says Oak Creek Canyon could be at risk of flooding after the pocket fire, but they just don't know the severity of the burn yet.
We do know that large areas of contiguous burned high severity pose the biggest problem. If those areas are on steep slopes, that poses another problem.
Up at the north rim of the Grand Canyon, park officials are hoping for rain, but not too much. Just the right amount could clear debris from popular hiking trails without creating dangerous conditions.
There's a lot of hydrophobic soil that's sitting there waiting to be flushed off.
Hannah Chanlis is a hydrologist at Grand Canyon. She says because of where the fire burned below the rim, trails like North Kaibab are at risk of flooding.
So this watershed has been affected.
So they partnered with the U.S. Geological Survey to install flood gauges to get immediate warnings when the water starts to rise in the canyon.
If any flood event or rain event happens, we can see it as it's happening and then provide warning to the folks down in the canyon.
Chandler says they don't want to discourage people from hiking, but preparation is a must.
Especially during monsoon season when that flash flooding is possible, it can happen really quickly, and just knowing that that's a possibility.
And park officials say people should turn on their weather alerts as well as checking their warnings and preparedness page before any inner canyon hikes this summer. We have all those links on our website, azfamily.com. Live in Flagstaff, Mason Carroll for Arizona's Family.